Hi. When I was asked to contribute to this conference, I said yes quite readily, thinking I was equipped well enough for the topic. I've written about climate change in my book, Bringing Mindfulness to Life, run workshops and retreats as a Work That Reconnects facilitator, and so on. But when it came to putting down some concrete ideas for this recording, a strange vagueness took hold of me. A degree of dissociation from my feelings, thoughts, and the task at hand. In clinical understanding, dissociation sets in when people are powerless to do anything to change or stop a traumatic event. It is a strategy to avoid the experience of being overwhelmed by intensely difficult emotions. Given the scale of the predicted catastrophic changes to the Earth's climate, combined with the apparent slowness and weakness of political will to avert the worst, taking refuge in avoidance kind of makes sense. In fact, globally, a vicious cycle is at play of distracting ourselves from the unthinkable, the wide-ranging perishing of life on Earth, much of it already happening, by indulging in the very activities that exacerbate the decline, like someone with suspected lung cancer lighting a cigarette for some short-term comfort. So I'm grateful for the courage and integrity everyone here shows by being present at this conference. Consciously enjoying a sense of community is, in my experience, an invaluable part of being able to face the impending challenges. Maybe we can take a moment to connect with this virtual sangha of like-minded people, almost as if we were in the same room together, breathing the same air, physically sensing each other's friendly and concerned presence. We can also evoke the presence of some wise, outspoken and compassionate teachers, such as Joanna Macy or Tara Brach, or Thich Nhat Hanh. We can take heart from being part of a huge wave of compassion and practical resourcefulness sweeping the planet. We must deal creatively and consciously with our feelings, otherwise they will trip us up and undermine any good intentions we may have to play our part in the great turning, as Joanna Macy calls it, the turning towards a truly self-sustaining culture on planet Earth for all sentient beings. This is also one of the findings of the recently published and much lauded report of the UK-based Mindfulness Initiative that has been exploring the use of mindfulness interventions for all-party policymakers in Parliament. It says that tackling climate change can't any longer be framed as a technological problem alone. The role of feelings must be acknowledged. The Green Party MP Caroline Lucas said, "Reaching into people's deeper empathy for the world is a way of generating the extra energy, motivation, and belief that change is possible. I would add that we must address our personal trauma in order not to get caught up in reactivity and avoidance with regard to the larger issues." So how can we tap into our emotions in a way that mobilizes creative energy for change? Interestingly, there is a boom in gripping movies or novels that paint a picture of a post-apocalyptic world. People fighting for food and water, escaping burning cities, trying to make the remnants of industrially manufactured goods and comforts last as long as possible. In Station 11, a parent tries, unsuccessfully, to describe the taste of chocolate to a child born after the event, in this case a catastrophic pandemic. The detail brings it home with some emotional panache. Life is going to change. Maybe fiction, imagining such scenarios at a remove, educates and prepares us emotionally to a degree maybe helps us to enjoy, in moderation, our amazingly luxurious lives while we still can. Fridges and air conditioning, central heating, cars, mobile phones. Maybe it is a way of preparing ourselves gently for the extremely difficult times that lie ahead. Although, since it's just fiction, not real, this kind of emotional exposure on its own probably won't incite us to bite the bullet and change our behavior in the required extensive ways, renounce flying, meat, and general overconsumption. We don't trust ourselves to be happily content with less than previously and less than our neighbors. For that, and in order to feel in touch with a different order of abundance, we need to have more direct, immediate emotional experiences, contact with the natural world, the satisfaction that comes from any positive experience consciously savored, from being heard and understood by others. Climate change must become part of the conversation. I was chatting to a woman at my allotment who was showing her young daughter how to stake up peas. There had been a lot of slug damage, and I was saying, how lucky we still can buy food in supermarkets. She said she was gardening with her daughter to prime her for a different future. Facing the reality of what is happening and our feelings can be done directly and deliberately through this meditation I have developed. It takes Tara Brach's well-known rain practice as a starting point, practicing radical acceptance, as she calls it, doing our best to recognize and befriend our feelings in relationship to climate change, utilizing the power of mindfulness. Then we investigate our unmet needs, what we are longing for, justice, respect for all life, peace, etc., and nourish ourselves by bringing these qualities fully into our body-mind experience, resting in it. This is a manifestation of loving kindness. Rain then develops into raining, into action. I stands for imagine, N for no limits, G for going forth. We are tapping into the Bodhisattva spirit, the truth of our interconnectedness, and use the power of our imagination to envisage a better world and the part we can play in its manifestation. The meditation combines the more inward-oriented and self-nurturing dimensions of Buddhist practice with insightful, compassionate action. I invite you to join me in this exploration. So we are getting ready, settling in and preparing for a period of meditation, finding a posture that allows the body to be relaxed and alert. Allowing some time for the stream of words and images stirred by what we have just heard to settle naturally, coming into the present moment. It may help to sense the contact of the body with the ground, letting the weight of the body be received by the earth. And connecting with the breath, letting go of some layers of tension with the exhalations. And feel the refreshment and spaciousness that comes with the inhalations. If the breath doesn't work for you, choose a different anchor that gives you a sense of ease and safety. Perhaps sounds occurring in your environment or gazing at a familiar object. Being present opening, softening, receiving the stream of life flowing through you, relaxing with it all. Sensations, feelings, thoughts and images. If it feels right, we may open to a sense of gratitude that we are here together, practicing in the company of others, whether we are on the same event or logging in at another time. A sense of mutual support, being part of something bigger. You can come back at any time during this meditation to a place of safety, to your anchor. Now, if it feels right, turning our minds to the subject of climate change. Recognize an area within the field of climate change that you would like to explore in this meditation. See what presents itself. It could be related to food security, displacement, political stability, floods and wildfires, poverty, loss of species and forests, heat waves, and so on. So take a few moments to decide which area grabs you and seems right to explore at this time. Trust your intuition. Allow some details to come to the fore. Images, sounds, thoughts. Let the situation take shape in your awareness. And with these images and thoughts, some feelings are likely to rise to the surface. Notice whether there is some openness to meeting them. And if there is resistance, then see whether you can make friends with that resistance. It has some good intentions for you, maybe wanting you to be safe and at ease. Remember, you can always come back to your safe anchor and perhaps continue the meditation in a way that suits you. If it feels okay to proceed, we start to pay closer attention to the feelings and do our best to allow them. Glossing over the difficult feelings won't do. We need the emotional energy and authenticity of this step for any tangible possible transformation to occur. It takes a bit of courage, a leap of faith. What are you in touch with? Numbness, fear, sadness, despondency, helplessness, or anger, or shame for not doing more and for being complicit? How does it manifest in your body? Getting to know these feelings, becoming intimate with them, exploring them as felt sensations or energetic states in your body, and breathe with the experience. Tension in the jaws and neck perhaps, or a heaviness in the heart, a general flatness or agitation, or a clasping in the stomach. And what kind of feeling words fit those sensations in your body? Staying curious about your feelings helps to avoid just thinking about the situation, fretting or blaming. The difficult feelings want to be seen and held, want to be known, want to be given some space to breathe. You may find that some relief comes from this allowing. Now we start to investigate. Related to your main feeling, what needs of yours are not met, or what do you long for? For example, if your main feeling is anger, you would probably long for something like fairness and justice. If it is helplessness, you may want a sense of agency or to be heard. If it's sadness, maybe there is a need to mourn. Numbness points to a longing for aliveness, and if there is fear, a need for safety. So in this phase, we give attention to ourselves, to our own needs, and take care of ourselves. We nourish ourselves by experiencing the fullness of the need or the quality we are longing for, right here and now in our body-minds. We may draw on our memory of how it felt at other times to feel safe, for example, or feeling heard, or feeling in the presence of fairness or hope. Allow those qualities to wash through you with your breath, saturating every cell of your being. Then imagine from deep within you, let a metaphor for the main quality you are experiencing arise. It could take the shape of a person, a landscape, or a symbol. What is the shape or the sound or the scent of peace or safety, or whatever the need is you are in touch with? No limits. From the perspective of this metaphor, what could the world look like? Let the image unlock a vision of what would it be like if those qualities you have been experiencing were abundantly present for all. Allow yourself to be deeply touched and strengthened by this vision. And now we move into action, our going forth, considering what may be a small, doable next step for us. Just being open to what arises, and then picturing ourselves putting this resolution into action, playing our own little part in the great turning. One little drop of the big ocean, an ocean that is made up of small drops. And how do you feel now, considering your initial scenario? To finish the meditation, here is an extract from the White Lotus Sutra, the parable of the Dharma as a rain cloud. The rain falls everywhere, coming down on all four sides. Its flow and saturation are measureless, reaching to every area of the earth, to the ravines and valleys of the mountains and streams, to the remote and secluded places where grow plants, bushes, medicinal herbs, trees large and small, 100 grains, rice seedlings, sugar cane, grapevines. The rain moistens them all. None fails to receive its full share. Now allowing all thoughts to quieten down and resting, doing nothing.